Good morning, and welcome to another video. Today we are in definitely not so sunny Bishop Stortford. I've literally just turned up outside the house and it started raining. And typically the first couple of hours of work today are going to be outside, because I've got to drill a hole and run an armoured along the side of the house. The job today is actually putting in a new cooker supply for the client. It's a new build house and they originally have put in a gas cooker and they don't like cooking with gas, so they've decided they wanted to put an induction hob in, and the easiest way of doing it by far was, or is, to drill out of the wall. Luckily his main supply is on an outside wall, so we're going to drill out, run the armoured along, take it back underneath the kitchen units and then bring it up inside a cupboard, to then go along into the hob position. The hob's going to get fitted at a later date once I've put the supply in. So I suppose without further ado, we should really get into it, shouldn't we? So I'll see you guys inside. Well, you join me back inside the property. This is the kitchen. As you can see, there's the gas hob. That's what's going to be changed to an induction hob. I think we're going to try to put the isolator in one of these, maybe even in that one there, come under the floor. So what we're going to try to do is drill out under the skirting, the plinth, go out through the plinth, and this over here is the mains cupboard. So if I show you that, we're going to come straight into the bottom of this, hopefully drill out next to the socket somewhere at an angle going out to take some of the pressure off of the cable when it comes in. So instead of going through at 90 degrees, I always like to do a bit of an angle so that it's a bit an easier run in to the board for the cable if I can. I suppose I better show you the outside because there's some not necessarily difficulties but things that need to be considered while we're doing the drilling and things, in order to get a half decent finish. So let's go and have a look at that, shall we? Here we are on the outside of the property, and as you can see, there's the meter cupboard. The fuse board sits just above it. So what I'm hoping to do is come to the side of the meter box when I drill out, but also because if you look along, it's been rendered quarter way up the wall, but I don't want to go through that render if I can help it. So what I want to try to do is measure down from the I want to measure down from the windowsill inside, because that's a known height, to how far down I need to come to miss the render, and then drill out. So I should come out underneath the render, and then I'm going to run along, straight along, and then into the kitchen. But this is another issue because obviously I can't drill out where that box is, so I want to try and drill out at the other side of it here if I can, but that might actually be a hindrance depending on what I can get to when I'm inside underneath the plinth. So these things I won't know until I've actually taken things off and start drilling my holes. So that's my next job, I suppose, will be I'll have a measure up and we'll start having a look at getting the holes drilled. So let's get into that, I reckon. Welcome back, everyone. We're back inside. I've done a little bit of measuring up and I don't know if we'll be able to get that in camera. Let's see if I can get it in there. I've done a little exploratory hole there under the unit. I've done it with, because it goes through the skirting goes right up to the wall. I've done it with my wood bit in my drill and stuck my finger in there to see that there's nothing coming down the wall that I can feel, and I'm having to go out at an angle, so it's going to come out a little bit further than, or right next to, dependent on how many measurements are next to the gas box that's out there, the gas meter box. So my next job is to drill this hole out, and then go outside and see where it's come out. Wish me luck. So we have 3 different size drill bits today because it's a reasonable size cable that's going through. Always starting off with the smallest. There's my 12mm bit. Once that's gone through, we enlarge it up to the 16mm bit, and then we go up to the biggie, which is the 25mm bit. so there's plenty of room for the cable to come in the property, hopefully. So yeah, let's get on with drilling this 12mm bit out and then seeing where it comes out of the property, shall we? I have to get my extra long drill bits. Bear with me. As you can see, the extra long ones are quite a bit longer than the shorter ones. So I can drill through a skin with that because there's limited room under here, and then hopefully I can slide this one into the pre-existing hole and then attach my drill to it. That's the plan. It's a little bit long-winded, but hopefully it will work. Let's see. Right, let's go and see where that's come out, shall we? And here we are outside the property, and there you go. As you can see, it's come out pretty good actually. So now all I need to do is go back inside, enlarge that hole, go down to the meter box area, drill my holes through for that. Yeah, and we should be all good. Let's do this. Here we are back inside. As you can see, I've taken the cover of the consumer unit off. I wanted to check that where I want to bring my cable in is clear, nothing in the way. And also what I've done, if you notice, there's a socket to the left of the cupboard and then one inside. So I thought I'd better double check, so I took this off just to make sure there was no cables going that way. Not that it really mattered, because I am going to drill a little bit lower than that, but I thought it's always better to check, better safe than sorry, as they say. So what I need to do now is drill this, but at an angle going out. So it's just a little bit less stress on the cable going out the wall. So that'll be my next little kiddie to get that drilled. So I suppose we better get on with that, better we? And there we go, guys, look at that. Nice little sweep on the cable. All I need to do now is enlarge them holes. That side is already done, the holes are big enough. This side I'll enlarge this, and then we can start actually thinking about putting the cables in. Let's do it. Well, here we are back outside again, and as you can see, I've managed to push the armoured in the wall. That's already to length inside, so that's enough to connect in there. And so you can see it's got to go from that hole there and then go back in the property over here. So I've just had a conversation with the customer, and originally we was gonna bring the cable up and run it along here, but because it's going to span this gap, we both then had a rethink and thought it won't look that great, I don't think. So now what we're going to do is come down lower level. I'm going to put my fixings possibly in there, maybe in this one, not 100% sure yet, probably will be there, depends actually how this wants to bend really more than anything else. And then we're going to run low level all the way along here. So this was the biggest issue really, because it's right in the way. So then we're going to come in, we're going to dig this out, go under that, put the stones back, and then loop. Oh, at the end I'm going to come along and then loop my cable in, because it's going in that way. So I'll go past it, come back and back through the wall. So that's the plan. So I suppose I better start drilling some holes and bending this cable up and seeing how we get on, Bet and I. As you can see, the cable is now in. What I decided to do was I actually went up one extra course of bricks here, because I noticed that as you go down they actually become lower and lower and lower on the wall. So by the time the cable goes back into the wall, it's actually almost on the ground. And as you can see, we've just done a little loop round straight back in. See? And I think it does actually look pretty neat. It's not obtrusive in any way. I'm sure that everyone should be happy with that. So next on the agenda, it will be going underneath the kitchen unit, making my joint under there, changing it, because I'm going to change this armoured to a 10mm twin and earth, and then go up in the 10mm into the box in the cupboard, and then out of the box to where the new hob's going to go. And then once that bit is done, we'll connect it into the mains, do all the testing, and we should be all ready to rock and roll. So let's get this thing on the road, shall we? And here you join us back in the kitchen. So what I've done now is I've fed the armoured under the unit. It comes up the back of the unit and over the top here, and then that's the 10mm that's going to be going onto the cooker or the hob position. It will just be left underneath the unit for now. So what I need to do is put a gland onto this, put it into this box, so that's ready then to put the faceplate on, and obviously connect this into it as well. I'm a little bit limited with space up there, but I'm pretty sure we can get round whatever we need to in order to get this fitted. So if you stay with me, my next you'll see me putting the gland and stuff on that and trying to get the box fitted up there. So let's crack on, shall we?
Always
So there you go, that's now all in. I actually ended up changing the box. Let's see if I can get round back there. If I can. So I wasn't happy with the hole that was there, so I've done a different hole. So I'll change the box to a different type. So yeah, I think it looks a bit neater and I'm a bit happier with it. Okay, so that's now in. That's sitting there ready to be done. Just needs, that's what I'm going to use for my testing. So I'll test right to the end of the circuit. So my next job now is to put the armoured away in the fuse board. So let's crack on with that then, I think. Here we are, back at the board. This is obviously my next job. So what I've done here is I put a cleat onto the armoured and I made a hole so where roughly my fixings are going to be for the armoured. And then I've run a laser up the wall, so I can put a couple of those in nice and straight. I ain't got to worry about it. I've obviously got to turn all the power off. I've told the client it's all going off. So once this is turned off, I can drill my hole in the bottom. I'm going to bring my armoured up and around, and then it's going to probably go rather on this here or on that there. I'm going to check what the fuse board actually says and see what circuits do what, and then make a decision from there. So I suppose it's time to crack on. Welcome back everyone, and this is how far we've got so far. Obviously I've just cleated this up and we've put the gland on, and also what I've done is I've put an earth nut on to the gland itself, so that then this earth goes up to the earth bar up here, the same one that it would be the same circuit. And what that essentially does is it earths the sheathing of the armoured. So if you don't already know why that would be important, if you don't earth this, the armouring, the metal of the outside sheathing of the armoured, then worst case scenario, let's just say someone goes through this with a spade and cuts into the neutral or the live, let's say the live. So the first conductor that they hit with the spade is the live, and that's as far as the spade went in. You would just get an electric shock because there's nothing, literally nothing to tell the electrical system that there's a fault, because all you've done is cut through a piece of metal that's not connected to the electrical system at all, and then cut through the earth, the live, sorry. Whereas if this is earthed, so all of the metal that's around the outside of this cabling is earthed. If you then put a spade through it, you're touching the earth, and then you touch any of the other conductors inside, poof, it will just trip the trip for you. That's why you should always earth the armouring. It's really, really common. I see it all the time that it's rather not been earthed at all, or if it has been earthed at one point, a joint will get done, something will happen to the armoured cable so that a joint will get done halfway down the garden where other things have been added, and then they never ever do the earth between the two bits of armoured. So then you lose the earthing of the armouring, which is common, but shouldn't really be like that. But anyway, moving on, all I've got now left to do is some testing of this, which I won't bore you with. Putting the cables away, livening it up, and then a couple of live tests, job done. So we're pretty much there. So I will see you at the end of the job. back, everyone. As you can see, everything's now put away. At the moment we have switched back on, but I'm just about to do the ZE test on the house to make sure that that's all up to standard, and I've got a couple of last live tests to do. I've got an RCD test and the ZS test to do on the circuit I've just put in, and then we're all done. So I'll get them completed, and yeah, I'll see you at the end of the video. And there you go, guys, 0.23. That'll do for me. It's a, oh, I don't even know, I can't remember, I think it's a PME, so it's well under anyway. So it's all good. Onwards and upwards, eh? Right then, guys, that's this job all wrapped. It's actually been quite a good day. I thought it was going to be a lot worse than what it turned out to be. Everything went in easier than what I thought it was going to, so that's all good. Everything's tested out okay. Client's happy with the job. So it's onwards and upwards, on to the next project, I suppose. And as always, if you like what you see, please like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.